I was supposed to push the pause button back, but I shut it off. So this is just gonna be part two, the continuation of the video. Uh, as I was saying, everything was peaceful. Everything was there. Let me just say this: there was this communal type of. I really could sense the togetherness of the women. I mean, the energy was beautiful. I mean, you had those who were gardeners that like they did the flowers and everything. I mean, anything that you could think of, they made. You had even one who some of them, it was a group of them. It wasn't just one person. It wasn't just one woman that did this. It was like seven, eight of them who all did. They had the vegetable garden, they had the flower garden, they had the seamstresses there, they had the ones who they made instruments, they made perfumes. I mean, anything you can think of, they created it. They enjoyed creating it. One of the things that I noticed about this and this in this vision was that there was no money. There was no money, and I guess you can call it a barter system that they had going on, but I don't think that's what it was. That's not what they called it. They just shared what they did with one another. They shared it, and no one lacked anything. No one lacked anything. Um, the love that I got from that, the togetherness of community, the sense of community was really beautiful. Okay, and I'm looking at this and I'm getting overwhelmed because it was just so beautiful as I'm looking out on, from this rock at this high place, up looking up down from high up. When they came, things changed. Things changed. I I feel this is what I got, and my understanding of the the dream and what I was being shown. These were, now that I understand, like I said, the dots have been connected for me, and I appreciate that. Finally, after 2011, I kept this in for so long, and that was the first time me sharing that just now. I have not shared that with nobody. But it's everything has its time and season. Everything has a season. So this is the time right now. So here I am. But when they came, things changed. And I'm going to share with you who is they. All right. I don't know if you have all heard of the Anunnaki. They who came from heaven to earth. That's what it's translated. Don't ask me if it's, this is what I have, to my understanding. I cannot translate these scrolls or the original language. I don't read it or speak it. I got this confirmation from here, from within, that's who they were. And the three women were the Anunnaki women. Because remember I said they were very tall. They were tall. They weren't giant, tall, like humongous, like towering up, but they were at least, I would say, 9 feet. They were tall. But they were the Anunnaki women. I just got that revelation not too long ago. Now they're in the Bible. They're in your Bible. They're in your Bible. But they're called something else. They're not exactly called Anunnaki. Is that their name? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But that is the name that I know them as. Okay? So that's what I'm going to use. They came to show me that this has happened before. And if we don't wake up, it's going to happen again. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, because I don't live in fear. I don't walk in fear. I refuse to. I will not. But yeah, they want us to know. You heard that saying that they who don't learn from the past is something like that. It goes something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. Right? So we're doomed to repeat the past again if we do not learn. All right? So one of the things that they showed me as I'm looking, and let me just say this too. I'm sharing this with you, and all this time I've been here, there's a part 2 to this now, and it's been over 30 minutes. As I was looking at this, it was like that. It was so quick. So quick. I saw everything. But it was like that. And you see how long I'm sitting here talking to you, telling you about it. But it seemed like such a short period of frame of space. It was quick. And I got everything that I'm saying to you, and I can remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. Okay? When they came, the males came, and they began to, what happened? It's sad, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna put it out there. And you can look this up, research, do your own research, check this stuff out. Check it out. We're in the age of Aquarius. Everything is coming out now. And they can't stop it. They know they couldn't stop it. Because it's within you. It's in you. You just have to unlock it, though. When they came, these Anunnaki males came. And what I got, my understanding from it, is like they were looking for them. The women who were already here. Yeah. This planet belonged to women. There were only women on this planet. Only women. Why do you think they're constantly finding us everywhere? And I'm not trying to discredit my other women, but it just is what it is. The oldest bones they found were that of a so-called black woman. And I say so-called because it's not about race, because I have some sisters who are me, but they don't have the same skin tone as me. But they're my sisters. And I'm calling you all from the four corners of this planet to wake up. But yes, we were here. And they came here looking for us. This is what I understand. Because they ran away. Because they wanted to live in a time of peace. They were tired of the wars. They were tired of the aggression. They were tired of the oppression. They were just tired, and they ran. And they found a sanctuary here on this planet. We are not the only ones here. We're not. I know it may sound crazy or whatever. Now, it doesn't sound crazy to me. But what they did, this is the mystery of iniquity that we're going to talk about. But this is part of it. They came here and they began to, what's the correct word I want to use for it? I'm just going to say it. They mess with our DNA. Because we were able to, and I say we because I am my ancestors, okay? We are our ancestors, okay? But they tinkered with our ancestors' DNA because they were able at one time to reproduce themselves. But they would, like I said, reproduce themselves. They would reproduce females. Right? So when they came to this planet, they saw how plenteous and beautiful it was, and the women, that's the other thing. I forget about that. The women that were there in that circle, they were in such harmony with nature, with the animals. They actually had animals, not a lot, but there were animals in that circle. And they were just walking around freely. And they would walk up to them, touch them, feed them, whatever. And I was amazed at that. But they were one with them. They had such a harmonious relationship. Everything was in, and that was the other thing that I really felt. I felt that balance that was there, There was such a beautiful, harmonious balance. But back to they would reproduce themselves. Do your research. It is such a thing. And if I mispronounce it, forgive me, but it's called parthenogenesis, right? Where we have, and we still do have that now, women, we have that right now within us, our bodies. You have but it's called something else now. Your semen to fertilize your egg, that's your discharge, okay? But we still have it. But it's been deactivated. We can no longer recreate ourselves. Because when they came, they tampered with our DNA. They genetically modified us so that they can, from what I understand, they needed someone to work and get the minerals and get the whatever it is. I don't know what the hell it was that they wanted to get from this planet. But they needed workers. Okay? They needed someone to do this. And they knew we weren't going to do it. We weren't going to do it. Not our ancestors. They were not going to do it. They weren't going to do that. They were women. They weren't going to do that. They weren't going to do that for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but they genetically manipulated our ancestors' DNA to where they begin to create males. Now, the first time, I don't know, let me not say it's the first time, because life on this planet has been destroyed, from my understanding and what I saw, what they showed me. It was 3 or either 4 times already, because they were manipulating the DNA, and these things that they were getting weren't what they were looking for, and they destroyed the freaking planet to where they had to. That's where you get the great flood and all of that stuff, because it had to be destroyed. There was one where there was like this nuclear or something nuclear happened. They just nuked and fried everything, right? And started all over again. But we keep going through the same thing. We're on a cycle, and it just keeps going around and around and around. We keep doing the same thing. Something different has to take place in order for something different to happen. We can't keep doing the same thing, because the same thing is going to happen again. Okay? We're the ones that's losing. We're the ones that's getting the short end of the stick, women. We are the ones that have suffered the most and have been oppressed and have been killed and have slain, raped, molested. We have been the ones that this has been done to. So we need to do something different this time. But the first thing is, you need to be aware that there is something different that needs to be done. You need to be aware of this. So they came and they manipulated our ancestors' DNA. Now, when they did this, this is what I saw in this vision. When they manipulated the women's DNA, they did give birth, but they gave birth to other women. Again, like they replicated themselves, right? But there was a difference with these women, because these Anunnaki had manipulated them. All right, they messed with the women's DNA, so they were different. They were slight. There was a visible difference with these, because they were what you would call albino, right? So I'm thinking this may be where the Caucasian woman came from, right? Because the so-called black woman, and I say so-called because it just is what it is. This was here already. I mean, this skin tone was here already. And you are me and I am you. We're connected that way. And that's the big elephant in the room that really needs to be talked about. Okay? But these women, and see, this is the thing. It's like they sat there and they watched. Right? What are they going to do? So these women, as they gave birth to these other women, they nurtured them. They did whatever they needed to do for them and everything. And when they got old enough or reached whatever age, whatever certain age, they let them know, look, you go here and we'll stay here. What does that remind you of? Was it Lot? Was it Lot? Lot and was it Lot and Abraham in that book we know as the Bible? I think so. Where they divided up the land, he went his way and the other one went their way. That's what happened. They went to whatever part of the land they went to, and they took everything that they learned and what they taught them, they took that with them. And the reason why they did that, because they are them. They came from them, but they were not of them. Okay, even though they came from them. And let me see if I can break it, see if I can help you to understand what I mean. Because they were genetically modified by these beings, by these Anunnaki beings. They didn't know what they didn't know what they were capable of doing as they got up and got older, right? They didn't know what they were capable of doing because whatever they modified them with, they didn't know what they were going to do to them. So, or what dangers they were going to bring to the community. So they let them go and have their own land and do whatever they wanted to do. Go to another part of the planet and do whatever, live your life. They took them. Males were born though. That means that males were born. Males were born. I did see that males were born. They finally, with the women that look like me, skin tone wise, they did create males, right? But the thing was, like I said, I think they stood back and they watched what they're going to do. So when they had these males, when they finally succeeded and had these males after they genetically modified the women did not sleep with these males. They didn't. They did the same thing they did to the other women, right? Nurtured them, did what they needed to do with them, right? But they revered the hold on, let me get this cord. I guess you could say that this is story time, ladies. But they revered the women. And of course, I mean, this is the one that, brought you up and, raised you or whatever and showed you things and showed you how to war. And yeah, they were fighters too. That was the other thing. They were like what we know as warrior goddess. What I call them, warrior goddess. Okay, they taught them how to fight. They taught them how to war and just to. I don't know if they needed that because it didn't look like they needed to fight against anybody because they were just in such a harmonious state. But they did that, it could have been for exercise or whatever, workout, whatever. But as they grew up, I could see that they kept the males on a whole nother side. Remember I told you that I said that everybody had their own little section of it within this circle. So they kept the men in this circle. They were in the circle, in the community, but they had their own little spot as well, and they did not venture into any other parts of where the women were, right? They stayed on their side. So what they did with these men, did everything for them, They did not need or want for anything, but they trained them to fight, and they trained them to protect them. They did not have sex with these men. Okay? They didn't have intercourse with them at all. They had no type of sexual interaction with them at all. And they would stand around this circle. So it was that many men, because that circle was huge. And I could see a man standing shoulder to shoulder with another man around this circle. Right? Now with I'm going to call them the other women, this is diabolical. The other women, these Anunnaki, I don't know what, because I don't think that they could, it's either they could not reproduce males, just like how the women, because they were reproducing themselves. So that's what the other women did. They were reproducing themselves. So they did something else to these, to the other women. So that they can produce males. Right? And I don't know if it was the first time or whatever, but they did create something that looked like a male. But it wasn't like them. It looked more like a monkey. A monkey man. Then, now these men are still there now. They gave birth to them, they had them, and then they tampered with their DNA yet again. Because it wasn't what they were looking for. You know, they didn't look, I guess, Homo sapien. So they did it again. And finally they did get the males that they were looking for. Now these males, the other women, they did the same thing. They nurtured them. They took care of them. They taught them everything that the women in the circle taught them. They taught it to their males. But these males, when they grew up, they began to oppress, rape, just brutally treat the women that they came from, their creator. Because remember, I don't like to say that the woman is God, like the creator of all, or the creator of the universe, I'm going to say. But she is God. Because she creates. She brings forth life, and not just life, physical human life. She brings forth creations. She came from her, so she has everything. The other woman has everything that the woman has. She's a creator. She is the physical manifestation of what you would think of is God. She is that. But she's lost herself because these men were brutal. They were horrible, is what I could see. And they turned on the creator, the womb that they came from, they turned on them. They began to rape them. They sold them. Amongst each other, they sold them. They did horrible things to these women. So to lessen their suffering, it is like they made a pact with them. We'll go and take over this so that you can take this over, those in the circle. So the women, the other women, went down to where the community was in the circle and the men that were there. And they began, because the women in the circle did not have sex with them. Right? They didn't have intercourse with them. They knew better. They did not do that. The other women, came down and had sex with the men who were guarding the wall, who were protecting the wall. They had sex with them, and they never had it before. They never experienced anything like that. But that weakened the wall. That weakened the men that were protecting the wall. And so they came in, the other men came in and took over. They raped the women. They killed a lot of them. Brutally. This is what's going to happen again if we don't wake up. All of us need to wake up. Those that will wake up, you need to wake up. I'm going to leave this here because this is really long, but I am going to do more of these. I have been trying to I learned how to use I think it's called the OBS, and it's where I can show you pictures and things like that, because I've been doing a lot of research. And these are things that I've known for years though, but now the dots have connected for me. More evidence is coming up, and I wanted to show you proof. So, and I tried to learn how to use, I learned how to use the OBS, but now it lags. So if I'm talking, my mouth will move, but then the words will come out later. So I'm like, you know what? I said, well, I'm not going to do it until I learn how to do this. No, I can't, because there is a season that we're in right now. We're awakening, and it's a beautiful time to be here, but it's also a scary time. We have to prepare spiritually. Ladies, this is what I'm saying to you. Raise your vibration. Take the focus off of men. Focus on you. You are love. You are the love that you're looking for. You're looking for yourself. You are looking for you, not a man. They just filled our head with fairy tales. You don't need no one outside of yourself, and I've said that so many times. Those that are to wake up, wake up. We're going to talk some more. I'm going to have more conversations about this, and I'm also going to, like I said, I want to work it in. I don't want to say anything about it just yet, but I do want to do tarot because I absolutely love it. I've found a way to work it in, but I'm going to do what I feel that I need to do in this season, and that is what I'm doing right now. And there's another video that I'm going to come out with, and I want to be committed with it. So, yeah, I'm trying to work these things out because this is something really new for me. So please have patience with me. Give me grace because this is something really new. All of this is new. This is new for me. But I feel like it needs to be done in this season that we're in right now. And that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, it ain't gonna be perfect. It ain't gonna be, I ain't got time for all of that. I don't have time. So those who are going to, the ladies who are going to continue to rock with me, please continue to rock with me. Like this video, share the video with other women who need it and who you think may benefit from it. This is not for everybody. It's not for every woman. It's just not. Because every woman is not going to get it. They're not. Because we are under a spell. And I understand that. And that's where we give them grace. Because they are under a spell. I mean, I was under a spell. But I'm grateful that I've awakened. The question that I want to ask, I ain't forget. The question that I want to ask you. Why do you feel the need to worship something or someone, rather, outside of yourself? I asked myself that question. And I got the answer. I've shut that off. The need to worship someone else outside of myself. And look up the definition of worship, because that will help you to understand what the meaning of the word worship is. But why do you feel the need to worship someone outside of yourself? Remember I told you that in this vision, the women self-governed. They were interdependent. They weren't codependent on each other. They were interdependent. They worked together. Okay, I'm going to leave this there for now. I love y'all. I do. And like I said, this is not easy for me, but it's necessary. So I got to do it. I got to do it because I want my sisters. I want my sisters. And I'm going to get my sisters. My Asian sisters. My Peruvian sisters. I want my sisters. My European sisters. I want my sisters. I want my sisters back. And take your rightful place in the spiritual realm as well as the physical. Because what's going on within is going on without. It's time for us to wake up and come back. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Like I said twice already. I love y'all. And I am going to be back. And as soon as I get... let me just leave it until I feel the time is right. All right. Until next time, y'all. I love y'all. Bye.